Yeah, this is where I'm going to kind of switch into more of a wish list, or what do you expect to see in the coming season.
Yeah,
and my one concern is that we're kind of just down to 3 characters in Dracula. For 8 episodes, where do you think this show's going to go? And who do you think they're going to introduce? Because I'd really like to see Death. And has Grant been confirmed? Or is he just a rumor right now?
Grant hasn't been confirmed. And I'll go back to this. Okay, so the animated film project that happened like a decade ago or whatever it was that originally Warren Ellis wrote. The thing was that he came out and said Grant is not going to be in the first movie. This was originally going to be 2 movies when they were doing this a while ago.
Yeah.
And he said Grant's not going to be in the first one, but he'll probably be in the second. See, the second one wasn't written yet. Like, he was getting to work on it, and that's when that project kind of collapsed on itself.
Okay, all
so
right.
he was saying Grant will probably be in the second one. So he really didn't do much with the second script yet.
Okay.
So possibly we might see Grant in the next one.
I'm just saying, this was 4 episodes, and we dove into a lot of characters.
We dove into a lot.
For 8 episodes, like, what could it do? Like, we gotta really, like, is it gonna show different perspectives, or are we gonna focus on these characters on their journey?
Well, these
and
characters,
if that's the case, we need more monsters.
We need to get to the castle. We need to traverse the castle. We need to confront Dracula.
Yes.
And I think a few confrontations with Dracula would be beneficial, because...
Oh, you're thinking more than one.
Here's my thing. Trevor's first encounter...
more than 2.
Trevor's first encounter with Dracula cannot be in the castle keep.
Huh.
Because these characters need to meet. They need to have...
You think he's going to greet them like he greeted Lisa?
Maybe he greets them. Maybe he catches up with them at some point in the castle. Maybe he even greets them before they get to the castle. But there needs to be some playing off between those 2 characters, because they definitely set up like they are kind of mirror images of each other.
Yeah, that's
in a strange, perverse way. They are mirror images of each other, and they need to play off of that.
But one's an extremist, the other's an idealist.
Well, we need to see that. We need to see those 2 characters play off of each other. We also need to see Trevor grow with Sypha and Alucard.
Yeah, I know that's a given.
These 3 need to come together.
What's going to happen as these characters grow?
Now, as they go along, we might need Grant. Grant might help them out.
Grant,
who knows? I
fill it up.
Just occurred to me randomly. We might see more of the speakers. We might learn more about Sypha's grandfather, maybe, and her tribe. Who knows? One of the interesting things that I just thought of just off the top of my head is, like, what if the ferryman's in it? Like, what if Grant is the ferryman?
Huh.
Because he kind of looks like a pirate. Maybe his whole thing is, like, he's a tradesman.
That would be interesting. I'm wondering if they do use Death, do you think he'll be in disguise for the first couple of episodes? Because Death has proven to be under disguise in a couple games.
And you know what? I think that'd be interesting,
and he is one that... More so than Dracula in the games, he's the one that likes to pull the strings and make things actually happen.
You know, that's always been an interesting thing to me in terms of the games, and, like, they kind of played with this with Lords of Shadow, is, like...
Death's the instigator. He sets things up and kind of, like, makes sure everyone plays their part.
The older games make it seem like Death works for Dracula when it should so clearly be the other way around, or, like... Death is just working with Dracula to accomplish something of itself as a malicious like entity. Will we see Death in season 2?
God, I hope so.
Or do you think, if anything, like, let's say this does insanely well and season 2 is coming out.
Okay.
And, like, we want to do more, they say. What if Death is like a stinger at the end? Like, he comes to collect Dracula. At the end of it all, and that's like the introduction to Death, and it's just like you might learn more in a season 3.
All right,
like maybe that's an idea, but like when we get to the castle, like what are we gonna see when we get to the castle? Do you think we'll see some more classic Castlevania-esque monsters?
Like, I don't know if we're gonna see the likes of like Medusa or Frankenstein, but I'm hoping we see more like let's see skeletons. Let's go on to like maybe.
Do you think we're gonna see the mermen?
That'd be interesting. I'd like to see the merman. I think that'd be cool.
Medusa heads are too iconic not to have some Medusa heads in there. Because people who play the original games are like the bats and the Medusa heads.
Suits of armor.
Oh, the suits of armor would be... Oh my god, just imagine like them entering the castle hall. Like in the beginning of the show, like Lisa goes in and you see all the armor.
And all of a sudden they start coming alive.
Like, they all come alive. Oh my god, that'd be great. Oh my god. That could even be a good, like, introductory thing where, like, yeah, Dracula comes to greet them. And then he goes off, and all the suits of armor come alive. Like, that'd be awesome.
Yeah.
That'd be fucking metal as shit. Metal. Metal as shit. Did I really just say that?
You did say that. I actually looked down, I'm like, I don't know how to respond to that.
I don't know either. I don't even know where that came from.
I don't know how to carry on from that.
It'll be very interesting to see where they go.
We definitely need to see some more monsters.
We need some more monsters.
Especially like once they go through that castle, it's definitely going to be focused on them. I don't know who else they could shift other than the speakers. Like the bishop's dead, so there's no reason to go back to the town.
We had an interesting theory, maybe episode 2 or 3, I can't remember, but we thought maybe like even though the bishop is dead,
yeah.
I mean, again, we're talking about Dracula.
Yeah,
we're talking about raising armies from hell.
Yeah.
We already know death is in the games as, like, an actual character. What if Dracula brings this guy back...
As Shaft.
As Shaft. To be basically his servant for the rest of eternity. Like, completely twist them.
That
and, like,
would
make that his punishment.
Because I see the comparisons, and... I think it would be very interesting. I mean, they've given references to other games that aren't Dracula's Curse, so they could easily do Shaft.
They could easily
and Shaft would definitely be another character to add more to make things more interesting than just these three versus Dracula.
And plus, we already have a connection because we already hate the Bishop, and the fact that we think he's dead, for him to make a sudden reappearance as a slave of Dracula, that would even work for the characters too, like already in the story, because Trevor knows the
Trevor
Bishop. He hates him.
Yeah,
like I think, and obviously Dracula despises him.
Yeah,
so it'd be interesting if that'd be a way to like bring him back and kind of give him even more comeuppance, you know, more torture.
Right. One more thing before we wrap up: do you think Alucard is going to play into Trevor and Sypha's like humor, like going around? Like, how do you think he'll?
You know what?
I don't think he's gonna get humor too much.
Let me say
that might be amusing
because
Trevor's full of quips and Sypha got him right back at him.
She'll fire
quick as a
right
whip.
Back. She just quick as the whip.
Pun intended.
But like, there's something very funny that happens in that fight that makes me think like this is how they're gonna handle humor with Alucard.
Okay, what would that be?
Well, Trevor goes for the balls and hits him in
That's
the balls.
Right. He says,
he's
please,
just like, please, this isn't a bar fight. Have some class. I'm like, that's how they're going to do it, by having comedic moments happen.
Yeah, he's just going
to
be very dry.
Stone-faced and dry.
Stone-faced, dry.
That's how they're going to keep up the humor in season 2. So that's how that dichotomy is going to work.
So final thoughts on Castlevania Netflix as a whole.
Castlevania Netflix as a whole. Beautiful series, season 1. Great for fans, great for newcomers.
I hope they keep it up with season 2.
Check it out. Can't wait for season 2. It just bugs me we gotta wait a year.
I know. Oh.
It bugs me to no end. But
we have to wait another year.
If the quality is as good,
stays like this,
if the quality is as good,
I'm gonna have your ass right back in that chair, and we're gonna watch the other 8 episodes.
My ass will be back. My ass will be back because and you know what else I'm hoping for? I'm hoping for some goat men. Created by the goat fucker. Had to get one more in.
Good night, everybody.